Hello and welcome to Quartzlight, your car brochure channel. In today's episode, we're continuing our Opel story with the luxury end, the Opel Senator. Welcome back, it's nice of you to join us. Here at Quartzlight, we look at car brochures from around the world for the 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s. Not already subscribed, consider doing so if you're into car brochures, which is what we're about really, but also if you're into cars themselves. There is some little interesting facts within these brochures. Anyway, today's brochure, we're continuing our Opel series. Last week we looked at the Opel Rekord. Now we're kind of like at the luxury end of the market with the Opel Senator, and of course this will be the Senator A, so let's jump straight into that. Okay, so here we go, the Opel Senator. Like I said, this is the Senator A, which ran from 78 to 86, although there was a bit of a facelift around about 82, 83. If you're not joined us already for this series, this brochure is from 1980 and is a UK Opel range at the time when, you know, Opel and Vauxhall was kind of like a little bit separate and sold as separate cars in the UK, even though quite a lot of the cars were virtually identical. This is a big car. This is a luxury car, executive car. I kind of like think of it as a sort of a lengthened version of the Rekord. The main picture here is actually showing the top of the range, the 3-litre CD. So let's jump straight in and zoom in on that. Unfortunately, as they've kind of like used a black background for this Senator, I think they always think about black as being executive for whatever reason. It's not the clearest, nicest picture, really. So yeah, there is a bit of reflection, but generally it's not very clear even in the brochure. We will zoom in a little bit further, but I wanted to show you the full side view of this model. It's the CD model, remember, top of the range. Head restraints, we're kind of like thinking here. Although, to be honest with you, even the lower spec one, there was two at this time. There was the S and the CD. Like I said, this is the top of the range, but even the S had head restraints at the back. It was a pretty well-equipped car overall. This just added things like, you know, things you can't really see in this picture. Things like central door locking and what else would have been on there. Trying to think of something else that this would have had, but it's not very much, so it's a bit of a strange model. There's a few more options that it could have, like front fog lamps, but there were kind of like options, so we're kind of like thinking more in engine terms. This is the 3-litre, the other was the 2.8, so really you're paying for that motor rather than the equipment levels, I think. Bit of a zoom in there on that front end, and very nice alloy wheels on this, I think. CD badge on the side, as you can see. I don't know if you can make it out, but there is headlamp washers on there as well. And then at the rear, probably my favourite part of the Senator actually, is that sort of darkened rear lights on there. Interior wise, a lovely blue interior. It looks a very, very comfortable place to be honest with you. Although I'm not too sure about this wood. It doesn't look the highest quality wood trim in my opinion. This is obviously the automatic version. There is also another little look at that interior and that quite a plain steering wheel really. Quite well equipped. Like I said, there's a rev counter though, so not too bad for the time. And then we get this really tiny little image. So the front end of this again, only showing the top of the range, the CD version, but a look at the front end. Look at those wipers at the front at a time when that seems to be, your wipers always was, you know, seen as like a high spec vehicle for wipers, but you know, the Opel range had quite a few models with wipers on them. Now, like I say, it doesn't show the lower 2.8, but I do have another brochure that shows the 2.8, so let's have a quick look at that. And here is a 2.8S, just to show you at this time you could get brochures not only for the models but very specific models like this is just for the Senator 2.8S. It is also from 1980, so it's the same car but not being shown, but just to give you a look at what that particular version looked like, because it is a better picture actually than that one on the dark background. So let's just zoom in on that. And as you can see, it's not dissimilar. It's still got them wipers on the front. Not got a blue interior by the looks of it, although the upper pictures do show a blue interior, just like the CD. Main difference really is it doesn't have a CD badge on there, I guess. So I also found this brochure hidden away. This is just for the Senator 3 litre E, and it's actually from 78, but it does give you an idea of the performance figures for that 3 litre engine. So 127 miles per hour, 0 to 60 in 10.5 seconds. So for late 70s, early 80s, 127 miles per hour is quite respectable, isn't it? And 10.5 seconds for such a large car isn't too bad either for the time. And kind of like my favourite part of the Senator, it also shows in this brochure. So as I move it down, this is the rear of the Senator. It also shows in this 78 brochure, showing these darkened rear lights, which I think is why I really like these from the rear. Was this the first car to have these darkened rear lights? I'm not sure, but if it wasn't, it was very early, wasn't it? Okay, so here is the text actually for the original brochure, so we'll have a look at that because there isn't really that much there. It says a rare combination of performance, comfort, safety and style. The award-winning Senator offers a thoroughly engineered approach to prestige motoring. The 2.8S has a 140 bhp, 6-cylinder engine for crisp acceleration, allied to responsive handling and all-disc braking. So all discs in 1980 was, I won't say it was rare, but it was, generally they had, drum brakes at the back, or most cars did anyway at this time. Its long list of standard equipment includes such features as electric windows, headlamp wash wipe, a steel sunroof with power steering. Steel sunroof was manual though for the lower spec S. The CD had electric sunroof. It goes on to say that for the ultimate in Senator performance and luxury, there's the Senator CD with a 3 litre fuel injected engine, standard automatic transmission and a specification that includes central locking, heated front seats, rear seat belts and electromagnetic boot lock. Senator by Opel, Executive Express par excellence. Okay, so here is the price list for the Senator. The S model with the 2.8 was £9,222.91. The CD, the top model at the time, the 3 litre E engine, was £12,143.14. A lot of money, isn't it, for 1980? I think you would have to be quite wealthy to walk in a showroom at 1980 and walk away with that CD model, to be honest with you. I always think back to my dad's 1.8 L Ford Sierra Sapphire 1988. It was under £10,000. Obviously that was a lower class car and the base model, but even so, this is 8 years before then. I've also got another price list for 1978 for the Senator, just to show you how the prices changed. And like I said, this is 78, so a couple of years earlier you could get a Senator CD for under 10,000. It was 9,500, so by 1980 it became a very expensive car. And if you really wanted to, you could make it a more expensive car. Just a couple of options for the CD version. You could get a limited slip differential just for the CD for £204, or you could get black paint, or no charge for black paint if you got the CD. Yeah, black paint was £171 extra, but that was for the S. So nicely offered black with no extra charge. I guess they probably sold quite a few Senators in black at that time. Other options for the CD, you could get those front fog lamps for £85. You could get air conditioning there as well. That was an expensive option, £857 on top of your already huge £12,000 bill, so that was a lot of money. And then you've also got all the options there for the S model, just to add a few little extras like heated driver seat for £64. Thank you so much for watching Course Light today. So that was the Opel Senator for 1980. If you got any memories of these, please do jot it in the comments. I really love reading those. Next week it's the turn of the Opel Monza. We have looked at the Monza a little bit in previous episodes, but we'll have a look at this again because it's a very stylish car, and I really love the interior actually for the Opel Monza. Thank you so much for watching today. Please do take care. Please do like and subscribe if you've not done it already. But we'll say all the best and goodbye.